Hey, party people. Sorry about that. My camera wasn't working. And my son was in class, so he had to ask permission from his teacher to come and help his mom with technology. But anyway, at last, at last. How are you, my friends? You coming off that big full moon in Leo last night? Wasn't that a pleasure? I had fun. I hope you had fun too. Very happy to be here with you. So I'm going to be with you for about just over an hour. I'm going to be able to stay with you until about 3:15 today. Then I do have to sign off because I need to finish a couple things for class tonight. I am very excited for our class tonight, I should tell you. We're covering a lot of ground tonight. I'm going to be taking you into another aspect of the prima materia tonight, the calcination phase of alchemy. And it's a crafting class, but I want to talk about what we're crafting tonight, which is our family crest, our family tree. And so I'm going to teach you tonight about a principle from quantum physics called the zero-point field. And I'm going to teach you kind of my theory of the Akashic field and how all of this connects to your thoughts about your lineage and your ancestry and your cosmic origins. And so we're going down a rabbit hole tonight. I hope you're ready. But you're right on time. We haven't started yet. Your timing is divine. So welcome in. Okay, so I'm going to ask my guides to help me be a good, clear, and open channel for us today for wisdom and information to come through in service of the highest good of the one who asks. Yep. And we want to ask that information that it comes through in a clear way that's easy for us to acknowledge and integrate and receive. And we want to give thanks for wisdom and information already on its way. Amen, aho, and so it is. So I'm going to get to as many of you as I can today. This is the deck I was called to today. Not a new deck. Sometimes I do new decks because I do like to buy decks. It's one of my guilty pleasures, as I've told you before. Although I need to stop because I really do have a good enough collection of Oracle decks now. I really don't need a new one. But Amazon is a temptress, man. You know, I'm looking at carrots or whatever, and all of a sudden over there on the right is a new Oracle deck I don't own yet. So anyway, this is Esther and Jerry Hicks, and the Ask and It Is Given deck. And this one's the one I was feeling called to use for us today. So it is. I'm just going to do the tiniest little hint of some sage for us. Just to bring you some good energy through. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a good deck. I like it. We've read from it before, so nice, just good, simple clearing for what's ahead. Okay, so let's dive in. It's a good one, right? Okay, Susan Gligovics. Did I pronounce that correctly? I hope I did. Hi, Susan. It's great to see you. We're going to dive right in with you. There you are. For Susan. It's coming up for you. Let's see what the cards have to say. They're all interesting in this deck, I think. Why does my saying no to it mean saying yes to it? This is such an important principle of manifestation. It's one of the reasons I love Esther Hicks. When you give attention to something you desire and say yes to it, you are including it in your vibration, right? That's one of the principles, essence of manifestation. But when you look at something you do not want and say no to it, you are including it in your vibration. Isn't that interesting? You cannot exclude anything that you are giving your attention to. Let me say that again. You cannot exclude anything that you are giving attention to. So, what does this principle mean for you, Susan? By the way, Susan, I am 150,000% guilty of this. And I know better. I know not to do this. But I am guilty still consistently. And I think it's just kind of the human burden, right? Of like still giving attention to things I don't want. And even saying, no, I don't want that, right? It's the best thing to do energetically is not to give it any attention at all. And that way it's not even in your vibrational field. That's one of the reasons why, anyway, I could go on and on and on and explain that for you. So let me just listen to what the guides are saying really quickly around this for you. This is a challenge for you, they're saying. This is something you need to acknowledge and overcome. And you can. And you don't do it a lot. But they're saying there are certain things in your life, in your field right now, that you would rather would not be there. And you're giving attention to them. So maybe don't do that. Right? It's hard not to do it, guys. If I met somebody who told me they never did that, I will tell you I would believe them for all of 30 seconds. Because you're human and it's just so easy to say, I don't want that, or no more of that, or why is that happening? Won't that go away, right? Yeah. Okay. Mrs. GDW, hey Myra. She said would love her first reading. Hi Myra, how are you? Myra. Oop, well, this one jumped out. So that is your card. I always go with the jumpers, as I call them. I just assume they're yours, because why else would it jump out of the deck after I say your name? And guess what? There's always a connection between people. That's why always notice who's around you in readings. You might want to think about sending them a friend request. Because I don't believe in accidents. And have you noticed how often I end up pulling the same card for these people who are in these energetic, entangled pairs? So are you doing that, Myra? You have done it, the guides are saying. They're saying there's one thing in particular, one part of your life in particular that could really benefit from this. Is it your relationship? Yeah, they're saying it's your personal, it's your personal life, and it's about really focusing on what you want to experience and magnetizing and manifesting that, and not focusing on what's missing or what you wish was different or what you know. I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine this morning about relationship, because it's so easy to look. I've been with Dave for 20 years. And I'm really happy with them. I hope to be with them for the rest of my life. But there's still moments where I'm like... And listen, he's got 350,000 moments like that a year with me, right? Where he's like... So... It is Breezy's birthday. Is that Cutie Pie here right now? Where are you, Breezy? There you are. Hi, cutie. Let's do a birthday reading for you, Breezy. Can we get it? I'm down. How are you doing today? Thanks for spending part of your birthday with us. It really means a lot to me because birthdays are very special. I think what you do on your birthday really matters, and who you choose to spend it with. So thank you for being here. So for Breezy, what's a good birthday pearl of wisdom for Breezy today? This is beautiful. What a beautiful birthday mantra. This would be a cool mantra for you, Breezy, to just start to say in your life every day. Maybe take a screenshot of it when I hold it up and then print it out and put it somewhere, or write it down somewhere. First, I reach for joy. I hope that's what you look like today on your birthday. You're just laying there somebody bring me a mango. First, I reach for joy and all else follows. Or maybe those are pears, although this one over here looks like an orange. It's a shitty kind of fruit tree. It looks like I drew it. Where you can't tell what the fruit are at all. So it says, once you consciously identify your current state of emotion, it becomes easier for you to understand whether you're choosing thoughts that move you closer to your desired destination or farther from your desired destination. If you will make the improved feeling or emotion your real destination, then anything and everything that you want will quickly follow. So you start with the feeling. What are you feeling today? And is it bringing me closer or pushing me further away from my goals? Here's what the spirit guides are asking me to ask you. Where do you want to be a year from today? Like in all the areas, you know? Like if I was sitting there with you, I'd ask you to write it down. I'd be like, well, personally, where do you want to be? All right, well, professionally, where do you want to be? Emotionally, where do you want to be? Is there anything you really want to create this year? They're saying there is. They're saying there's a project or a thing, almost feels like art, that you really hope comes through this year. And I think you should really make it a priority and almost chip away at it, like make it a 365 project, you know, even if you just do a little bit each day. I've thought about writing a book like that, where I just write a little tiny bit each day, like 2 or 3 sentences, but every single day. So it becomes like a year and a day reflections or something like that, or writing a memoir like that. Wouldn't that be interesting? Certainly would be fun for you to go back and look at, right? Okay, you know what it is. Okay, good. Well, do it. Commit to it. Today's a great day to make a commitment. You're still in the shadow of the full moon, right? In Leo. I mean, that's the full on. If you're going to make a commitment to something, I guess today's the day to do it. Yeah. I do have Dr. Pepper. Et voila. Got a whole case of it today, delivered with my groceries. And I did a damn jig. I literally did jig in my kitchen because I got a whole case of Dr. Pepper. Okay, Jamie Sheehan. Hi Jamie. She says, I need some guidance today. I am making lots of changes. I want to be sure I'm on the right path. I like it. Well, again, what a great day. We don't get Leo full moons every month. So Jamie, let's go in and see what the cards have to say. Success is about the joy I feel. Isn't that true? If it doesn't bring you joy, it's not success. I've been successful with no joy before, and it sucks. So it says, when you are genuinely thrilled by someone's success, that means you're on the right track of your own. Success is not about getting it done. The measure of success in life is not the attainment of the money or the stuff. The measure of success is absolutely about the amount of joy you feel. So the question you have to ask yourself as you make these changes, Jamie, which of course relates to Breezy. Again, twinsers, right? Remember Breezy's card was all about looking at the steps you're taking and asking yourself, is this moving me closer to my intended or desired destination, or is this moving me further away from that? Your desired destination is joy, or at least the card is suggesting it should be, or it could be. And so you need to ask yourself as you're making these changes, because you're asking, how do I know if I'm on the right path? It's about the questions you're asking. Is this going to lead me closer to some joy and some peace and some balance? And if the answer is yes, then it's the right choice. Even if it doesn't look like it to other people, even if you're like halfway on the fence about it, joy is its own stakeholder in our decision-making processes, right? Oh, EA, I would love to read for you for the first time today. What a joy. What a pleasure. So she said, I would love a reading. It would be my first one, and I would love to hear what you pick for me. All right, EA, let's go. Ready? EA. I believe this is true. And man, if you do ever decide to believe that it's true, it changes the way you think. It changes the way you talk. It kind of changes the way your modus operandi. So it says, if you have the ability to imagine it, or even think about it, this universe has the ability to, and the resources to deliver it fully to you. For it is like a well-stocked kitchen with every ingredient at your disposal. This goes both ways, right? Whatever you can imagine that isn't positive is also available to you. Which is why you gotta mind your thoughts. There are times, truly, because there's still my early self, and the cynic in me. There's still times where I ask myself, like, because I really do try to focus on what's working and what's positive, because I do believe that you attract more of what you notice, right? But then part of me is like, am I sugarcoating my life? Am I like, being a Pollyanna, just trying to look for the good? And because I really do try to look for the good in people and in situations, even when they prove me wrong, I still kind of try to look for it. But then at the same time, it's kind of one of my favorite things about myself too, is that I have the capacity to do that. And it makes me feel childlike. Like I still have a little bit of that childlike kind of innocence in me that I appreciate. So my question to you from guides, let me make sure I'm using their wording. A, do you believe this is true? And B, if this is true, what will you do with that information? Do you perceive it to be like ordering from a menu? And how often do you really work with that? And when was the last time, this is what the guides are asking, when was the last time you consciously sat down and placed an order? And I'm asking you that question because the reality is I don't do it as often as I should. And I know better, and I know it to be true. And I still don't always, because I get busy. I've got just a lot going on 24 hours a day. And sometimes I forget to sit down and go, this is what I would like, right? I hope that resonates with you. Okay. Yeah, Tanya's doing a great job. I see you guys too, talking about her work. It's super fun. All right, Jamie Bowe says, this is the first time I've been able to attend a live reading and actually post in the chat. I'm so happy that you're here, Jamie Bowe. Thank you for being here. I just found out a very close friend passed this morning, and I'm so upset. I would be grateful for a card. I'm really grateful that you're here. And I'm especially grateful that you chose to still be here, even though you got this news this morning. It makes me want to cry, honestly. So thank you for being here. I'm really glad I get to pull a card for you, and I'm very sorry for your loss. I really am. I can feel the energy of it, so I just want you to know. All right, Jamie. What does she need to know right now? But she doesn't at this moment. You guys see it too, right? I'm not the only one pointing this out to you, right? I would really make a note. Again, maybe you're not looking for new friends. Maybe you don't believe in the phenomenon, but there is a twinning between most of you today that I have a hard time explaining to you, because this is a 52 card deck. So why am I pulling the same cards for just the pairs of people, right? Whatever I can imagine the universe can deliver. Now the card doesn't mean the same thing for each person. You'll notice the way the guides ask me to interpret the card is different, right? But do you see it? Yeah. Here's what the guides are saying for you, Jamie. It's interesting, isn't it? It's time to start believing and trusting again. It feels like you've lost some of your faith and your trust and your belief. And then the energy of this loss can almost magnify some of that. You know what I mean? Because loss has this way of casting almost like a magnifying glass on everything, where, we already may look at things through a lens, and then loss kind of magnifies that lens. Um, it's time to start believing again. It's time to, this is what the guides are saying, Jamie, for you. It is time for you to close one door and open another. In faith. In faith, yeah. You need your faith back. It seems like that's the big message from the guides for you today. It's about your faith. It's so important. I see you. Okay. It's a day of a lot of firsts today. Christy Proper. Is it really your first reading, Christy? I mean, you've been around forever. I'm happy to do your first reading. She said, I would love my first time reading from you, but love to know what my guides see for this year. Thank you for being here, Christy. I appreciate it. So for Christy, let's see. Well, what about those innocent little babies? It says, even your babies are offering vibrations that the universe is matching. And like you, your little ones are influenced by the vibration of those who surround them. But nevertheless, they are creating their own reality. And like you, long before their physical birth, they set into motion this life experience they are now living. Here's what's interesting. The guides are saying this isn't about human... Hold on, let me listen. This is not about human children. What is it about? This is about, they're talking about a dream or a vision. It may have been a vision you have that is turning into a dream, a desire that you have. And you need to give it energy. You need to recognize that every intention that you're setting around whatever this is, every vision that you're having is creating its own vibration, and it gets matched and expanded, which is how manifestation happens. So each time you hold space. But they're saying this is about a creation that will come through you. And again, they keep saying vision. It's something that you have foreseen. And you need to put more energy toward it. That seems to be a theme for today too. It's almost like you guys need to put your desires and your visions and your wishes into more explicit focus right now. It feels really important for you. That feels like the energy behind your reading too. Ooh. Yeah, did we find out whether the baby was born? Remember? That was last Wednesday during the readings. I mean, I assume baby's here, right? I'm waiting to hear. I have not heard yet, so. Let's see. Yeah, interesting, right? Is there something you have to, it's something that you have seen. And it doesn't have to be a psychic vision. It could be something that you've like actually seen in flesh and blood. So it could be something, it could be like something that you've seen that you want to recreate, or something that you've seen that you want to acquire. But you have to put more energy toward it. It wants to come to you is what they're saying, but it needs a pathway to reach you. A clearer pathway. Okay. Hey, Jessica Duclard. Let's see. You haven't seen anything either, Susan? We're all waiting, right? She said, Dear Athena, I manifested a reading during full moon ceremony. If you're called, I would love some general guidance. Let's see what's coming up for you, Jessica. It's great to see you today. Jessica. Some of these cards are really funny. I won't put those unwanted ingredients in my pie. Imagine yourself as a chef in an extremely well-stocked kitchen where there are many ingredients that are not appropriate for your creation, but you feel no discomfort about their existence. You simply utilize the ingredients that will enhance your creation, and you leave the ingredients that are not appropriate for your creation out of the pie. Isn't this interesting? I love this card, Jessica. So, I don't know how you take that. Like what you take that to mean. I can tell you what I take it to mean. And then let me know listen to what the guides are saying. Focus. There's your connection to Christy, right? As the twinning persists, because Christy needs to focus. They're saying you need to focus too. Ooh, they've never said this to me before. It's interesting. Focus is your magic wand. That feels like a life mantra, doesn't it? Focus is your magic wand. And so so the way I take this is, because I see this world, I observe people for a living, right? Like I'm lucky enough, or unlucky, depending on how you look at it, I get to spend a good chunk of my day, most days, on Facebook, in our groups and in my feed, responding to people, and I see what people do, and they're not focusing on their own pie. They're focusing on everybody else's pies, and then but notice, because I have noticed, and I'm going to tell you guys how proud I am of you right now, and I don't want to be emotional about it, but I've mentioned this to some of my team too. I have seen more people this year, and let's say the last 6 months, in Soul Shift, start to focus and bring their soul gifts forward in a concrete way than in the entire decade that I've been doing this. I am seeing you guys focus, launch your passion, launch a shop, launch a YouTube, launch a this, and you got to start somewhere, right? And what I love is I'm seeing them start slow and start small, but the focus is the magic, right? They're finally putting it into practice, and I'm getting that message for you. You have to put that focus there, and it almost doesn't matter where you put it, Jessica. I feel like it's almost just like putting one of your feet down in the sand, right? Just put a foot down. You can always change where it is later, right? And I'm really proud of you guys, because I see what you're doing, and it's really cool. And do you know what else I'm going to give you kudos for? I'm going to give you kudos for this too. And I've told this to my team too. One of the reasons I'm so proud of you is each one of you is doing something in your own way. It doesn't look like what other people are doing. It doesn't just feel like another this or another that, another reader or another, you know what I mean? It all feels very unique and very authentic and very embodied. I really just want to take this moment to look you in the eye and tell you I'm so proud of you. And when you do that, I hope you see that I try to support you and bring awareness to what you're doing, because your effort should be rewarded with attention and focus from others so that you can continue to grow and evolve and become. So anyway, I'm very proud of you. So what does that look like for you, Jessica? Focus. I have ADHD, so focus is real complicated for me. But you know what I mean. I'm not talking about your attention span. Not really. I'm talking about you bringing a laser to whatever it is you're here to produce on this planet. Yeah. I really am very proud of you. All right, Dorothy Merrill, hello. You're very welcome. I see you trying, and trying is where it's at. 99% of people never try. So if you try, you're in the 1% already. Most people never try. They're too scared, or they're lazy. I mean, a lot of people just don't want to work hard. And it's hard to start something that's aligned to your soul. It's not easy. It's very hard. So I love you. I'm very proud of you. All right, Dorothy. Let's see what's coming up in the cards for you today. This is the number one question. Why is it taking me so long? To do what? To do anything, right? Because magic takes time. Sometimes magic is instantaneous. It says, for you, Dorothy, the only reason you have not already received what you want is because you're holding yourself in a vibrational pattern that does not match the vibration of your desire. isn't that true? So what is the vibration of what you desire, Dorothy? And how can you create a vibrational match with it? We're going to talk about this a little bit tonight, actually. Ironically, this is not unrelated to what we're going to be talking about this evening. Because we are going to talk about vibration and frequency and dimensionality and holograms and magic. Right now there's a distance between your frequency and the frequency of what you seek. But I could say that about almost anybody and almost anything, right? I mean, there's things that I want in my life, but I know vibrationally I'm not where I need to be to manifest them yet. And there's reasons for that, right? Because some of the things I want to do would really change the way my current life looks, and my current life is where I need to be right now. So some of those things are not going to happen until other things can change. So there's no vibrational match. But I've learned to discern that, so I don't get impatient or disappointed or resentful, because I recognize the universe is like, great, we'd love to give you that. That's not resonant with your life right now. So let's be with what is, and let's focus on where we want to go and try to bridge the gap, right? So how do you bridge the gap? And that's a question only you can answer. How do you bridge the gap between, vibrationally speaking, between where you are today and where you want to go? Write about it, right? Ask your guides to show you what the vibration or the frequency is of where it is you want to go. Ooh. Let's see. Let's see. Catherine, tell me how to pronounce your last name. Is it Prooks? I hope that's not a mispronunciation. I really do my best to pronounce things accurately. She said, "Dear Athena, may I have a reading about my doctorate, please? It will be my first reading, and I really need your guidance." Let's take a look for you. Hi, Catherine. The most powerful law in the universe. Every thought vibrates. This is the law. Every thought vibrates, every thought radiates a signal, and every thought attracts a matching signal back. We call that process the law of attraction. The law of attraction says that which is like unto itself is drawn. That is what I want to have tattooed on my back. I really do. That which is like is unto itself drawn. So, I don't know if you have a specific question about your doctorate. I can tell you what's coming through from the guides. Are you feeling, there's an energy around you of like dissatisfaction is what I'm sensing. Not being where you want to be. And recognizing that all you have to do to change that is change your thought pattern. And it really is as simple as that. It's also as complex as that. Because the reason most people don't do this is because it's really hard. It actually requires a level of intellectual discipline that I've seen in very few people. Most people break down after a couple of days of doing it. And the reality is you have to be able to hold a frequency for years sometimes. Right? That's why people say you gotta want it, because I mean, what they mean by that is if you don't want it, try holding the frequency for it. Whatever it is, right? Hey Morgan, he's getting sexy over there. I see you, Morgan. Let's take a look here. He said, "May I please have a reading about workplace redundancies?" It's kind of my least favorite phrase. It's such a euphemism. I don't like words that are nice words that really mask something shitty. Are you with me on that? We are experiencing workplace redundancies, which means fear of being let go, right? Okay, so Morgan, let's take a look. All that is is benefiting from my existence. I'll tell you what the guides are saying, Morgan, and then I'll come back and read the back of the card to you. But they want to talk first. You need to watch out for fear lowering your confidence, because the vibration of your confidence is what is expanding your professional possibilities right now. Does that make sense to you? Your confidence is the fuel in your tank. And what happens when we experience, this is what the guides are saying, what happens when we experience fear is oftentimes the first place it attacks is confidence. Confidence in ourselves, confidence in what's possible, confidence in the universe, confidence. It doesn't matter what the confidence is in, because confidence is a frequency. It doesn't matter whether you're confident about your appearance, or whether you're confident about your ability at your job, or whether you're confident about it doesn't matter. You just need confidence. And it doesn't matter what area of your life, because as long as the frequency is there, then it's vibrating through the rest of your patterns, the rest of your field, right? So it's just about maintaining that frequency. That's the main thing they want me to tell you. If there is a change in your workplace, I wouldn't worry about it. They say you already know. Let me listen. They're saying you already know and see what is happening, and you are already preparing for it. Is that true? I mean, I trust them. Yeah, I would tell you just to have confidence and be bold in how you proceed. I'm telling you as your older sister, right? At the moments in my career path where I had anxiety because I was either like lily padding from one, discipline or one field or one job to another, and in those moments it feels kind of squishy, it feels kind of like you don't quite know, you're not here but you're not there. It's kind of a liminal space. But as I look back through with the clarity of time, if I could have just trusted that there was always a bridge, because now looking back I can see there was always a bridge, but I couldn't see it then. I can only see it in hindsight. But I would have moved a little bit more confidently in the process, which would have helped. I should have stayed confident. Yeah, just stay confident. It's your superpower. Mm-hmm. Confidence is really about trust, don't you think? Like, it's about trust when you think about it and when you boil it down. All right, let's see. All right, Bumblebee Farm, I would love to read for you. Do you want to give me your first name just because otherwise I'm reading your handle, which isn't a bad thing, but sometimes energetically it doesn't have the right frequency. It doesn't have the accurate frequency, I should say. So if you have a handle and I'm reading for you for the first time, I don't always know your name separate from the handle. In some cases I do, but some cases I don't, or I forget. So could you just put your real name or whatever name you want me to speak into this space? Because you know how I say your name 3 times? When I do that, what I'm doing is bringing your energy into the field. So you let me know, and then as soon as I see you, I'll come back to you. Okay. It's different, right? Okay. Rebecca Anderson. You're really welcome. Okay. She said, I would love a card. This will be my first reading. And I actually didn't see that when I saw your name. I seem to be gravitating toward the first timers today, which is super fun. I always try to balance it, because it's okay to get a reading a second time or a third time. So I'm okay with that too. Rebecca. I now hold the key to creating my every desire. It is not possible to consistently feel positive emotion about something and have it turn out badly. For the way you feel will tell you if you are allowing your natural well-being or not. Once you understand that the way you feel indicates your level of allowing or resisting, you now hold the key to creating anything you desire. Isn't that true? Okay, so let's see what this really means for you, Rebecca. They're using a weird phrase that I haven't experienced before. They're talking about an inventory of your feelings. You need to get some stuff out. You know? Like if I had you here, I'd sit you up on that bed with some notebook paper and some markers and tell you to get it out. Even if all you do is shred it. You guys know about therapeutic writing. It's a practice that one of my teachers really loves. I did it for a while. I don't need to do it all the time, but you may want to do this because you need to sort through. That's why they're talking about an inventory. An inventory is not a word I use very often, but basically it's like I feel this because, I feel that because, I feel this other thing because, right? And just trying to enumerate it or articulate it in some way. And this is not for anybody else. This is just for you. It's like a sorting out. Are some of your feelings confused? Because it feels like things are kind of like, you think you feel this, but you actually feel this, and you haven't even really given yourself a chance to think about it or process it. Like there's a lot of unprocessed, I guess is what I'm noticing. And so therapeutic writing is you write everything down. You don't try to write in complete sentences or paragraphs. You don't look at your grammar or anything. You don't try to correct your spelling. And then you shred it after you're done, so nobody ever reads it. And the reason that's important is sometimes, especially if you have a throat chakra blockage, and I don't know that you do, I can ask, is her throat chakra blocked? Well, it's saying it is. Again, I don't presume, so maybe you feel like it's not. When we have throat chakra blockages, one of the things people don't understand is it can prevent you from writing, because your throat chakra isn't just your speaking. It's also your physical handwriting, and it's your typing. It's any expression of your ideas, thoughts, and emotions. And so one of the gifts of that type of writing is it allows you complete freedom because you know nobody's going to read it. And a lot of people with throat chakra issues, they're afraid somebody's going to read it. Have you ever had somebody read a diary of yours? I've had that happen to me. I'm very careful not to look at the kids' diaries. You know, I monitor their phones and their online things, but I think everybody should have an outlet that isn't monitored by other people, just for their well-being, you know? So get a shredder. I got one on Amazon when I started doing this with my teacher. We did it last year, like January, February, like this time last year was when I was doing it. I got a $20 shitty shredder on Amazon because I wasn't shredding like buckets of documents. I was just shredding like 2 pieces of paper at a time and throw it out, right? It's hard, but it's very important. Okay. Ah, look at that. Did Bumblebee Farms give me her name? Hi, Karen. Thank you, Karen. I wanted to come back to you. A Bumblebee Fern, not Bumblebee Farm. Bumblebee Farm sounds cute, though, doesn't it? I want to go to a Bumblebee Farm. Honestly, I just want to go anywhere right now. I told Dave I would be so excited just to go to the grocery store. I think I'd almost pee my pants just to look at a whole produce section. I don't go to the grocery store. I don't go out very much at all because of my medicine, you know? It sucks. All right, Karen. Not Bumblebee Farm. There's me mispronouncing things again. This is a beautiful card, Karen. I'm glad you pulled it up today. I am becoming consciously aware of my inner being. Look at that little cutie. That's a little cutie down there. You have cute energy, Karen. You really do. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Like honey. We refer to that non-physical you as your inner being, or your source. It is not important what you call that source of energy or life force, but it is important that you're consciously aware of when you're allowing a full connection to it and when you're restricting it in some way. We disconnect from our own source or self all the time because we don't like what it's asking us to do, or we lose faith. So we decide just to unplug in different ways. They're talking about returning to more of a childlike, like a youthful essence within you. And there is something from when you were young that you need to reflect on, like a cycle that might be repeating itself, is what I'm sensing from them. There's also some sorrow from childhood that I feel like you're ready to heal now for her, for little Karen, little cutie Karen. Yeah, that feels right. I hope that's helpful. Okay. All right, Penelope. Hi, Penelope. She said I would love to have my first reading. Well. I would love to read for you. So this is for Penelope. Still got quite a bit of time on the clock, so I hope you guys are having fun. I'm going through as fast as I can, and I want to get to as many as I can today. So this is for you, Penelope. This is sometimes a tough pill to swallow. Nothing happens without my having invited it. It's true, but it's like shitty. When you understand the law of attraction, you are never surprised by what occurs in your life. For you understand that through your own thought process, you have invited every bit of it in. Nothing can occur in your life experience without your invitation of it first through your thought. It's intense. It's interesting because they're actually taking me back to, for you, Penelope, a little bit of what they were talking about with Karen. Going back to an earlier, in some cases more optimistic mindset is really recommended for you. Bringing in more of that passion and joy and curiosity and a little bit of playfulness too. You're taking things really seriously right now. That's good for being an adult, right? Like that's what the brochure says we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to get older and take things real seriously and buckle up and be an adult. But most like real responsible adults I know aren't that happy. The people I know who are really happy have really just decided to allow themselves to be free. In whatever way freedom speaks to them, you know? What does freedom look like for you? Guys are saying for you it starts mental. Does everything start mental for you? And then, you know what I mean? You know how some people feel things first and some people sense things first, or some people like their body shows them things first. I think you think about things first. That's why that card is showing up for you today. So change your mentality, your mindset, your thought patterning. Become more conscious of it. And then you can learn how to work with it as a tool, right? Yeah. It is a tough deck. Okay, Amanda Perrine, let's see. Oh, Bumblebee is Taylor. Why did I see Karen? Oh, maybe because she was saying something to Karen, but she wasn't expressing that as her name. Sorry about that. I still feel like the reading is accurate. Do you want me to pull again under Taylor? You can let me know if you do. I don't mind. I'm sorry I confused that. Okay. Hold on, where was I going? Amanda Perrine. It's her first live reading too. And in some cases I'm like, how is it your first live reading? But you know, I mean, one thing with readings you have to know, and if you're a reader, you know this already, I don't hold any of it. I don't hold the details. Like, I will remember, like, if there's a real big moving, shaking moment in a reading, I'll remember it. It'll kind of imprint, right? Like, oh, I remember that day when I told you that. But, like, most of the time I don't hold it because it's so much. You know what I mean? Like, I have to kind of, when I'm done with our session, I kind of give this wisdom back, you know, return it into the field and kind of seal off the energy to it, because otherwise I would just continue actually to be entangled and it would take up too much time and energy for me. It would make my job really hard. I've had to learn, you know, one day I would really like to teach a class on how to hold big space, because everything I do I've had to learn, and I've had to learn it kind of the hard way. And for people who have to, you know, work with a lot of people, maybe it would be helpful for me to share some of the like things I've had to invent along the way to do it in a sustainable way, you know? All right, Amanda. She wants to know where to go with her career. Let's take a look. Amanda. My desires and beliefs are only thoughts. This is the flip side of Taylor's card. Taylor's card is start to be aware of, or no, this was Penelope's card. Start to be aware of your thoughts. So this is the flip of Penelope's reading. But also at the same time remember that everything is a thought. So become aware of it, but see it for what it is, right? Your desires and beliefs are just thoughts. Ask and it is given. You ask through your attention. This, I think, is one of the little bits that people don't often understand, because they would say, well, I didn't ask for that. Okay, but did you give it attention? Did you pay attention to it? Right? You ask through your attention, through your wanting, through your desire. That is the asking. Whether you desire it to happen or you desire it not to happen, you are still asking for it. Just with attention. Just with attention. So what are you paying attention to? This is the question. You need to, in your career, this is what the guides are saying, you need to pay attention not as much to, let me get this right, not as much to where you are as where you want to go. You've been focusing, they're saying, on where you are. And that has been important. So they're not like getting on your case about this, but they're saying now the next part is you got to figure out where you're going from here. And there's a difference between where you are and where you're going. It's like one leads to the other. These are steps in a process, they're saying. And think bigger picture is the other thing they're saying too. Again, I don't know what it is, but it feels like there's this kind of micro focus around you right now, and you need to macro out a little bit and look at the bigger picture and not just at what is right in front of you. And I'm noticing this with a lot of people right now, because world events and the uncertainty that we're all kind of living with is forcing us to like think really small and focus on like day to day and what's right in front of us. But at the same time, we have to create space and remember that the macro still really matters, because we're still co-creating the next 5, the next 10, the next 15, even though we're in a pandemic. And we won't be, I don't think, in the throes of a pandemic then. So, do you know what I mean? Don't get caught up. All right, hi, Sissy. She says, my very first reading, I am ready for you, and I send you kisses from Greece. Well, I send you kisses back to that sacred land. Thank you for being here. I love it. Okay, Sissy. Let's see what's coming up in the cards for you today. Well, this one jumped out, so let's go with it. They're usually right. It's a good one too. Only I know what is appropriate for me, which is true. It says, when you remember that everyone who asks is given, then how wonderful and appropriate it is for you to make the choices right for you. For the universe operates much more efficiently without a middleman interceding on your behalf. You always know in the moment what is best for you. They're using the word trust. They keep saying you need to trust your judgment and trust your vision. Because you're right. Is there a question you're sitting with where you're like, I don't know if I'm right about that, or maybe I'm making the wrong assumption or the wrong choice? Whatever it is, this energy that I'm feeling for you feels like an affirmation that your judgment is accurate. And you should proceed as it directs you. Yeah. Don't question. It's hard not to sometimes. I've only ever made mistakes in my life when I didn't listen. Not when I did. And now I never don't listen. Even when I don't want to hear what they're saying, I still listen. And I even listen about dumb things. Don't leave the creamer on the counter, put it in the refrigerator, right? How many times have you heard that in your intuition? Put the creamer away. Put the creamer away. And you don't, right? Because you get distracted or you don't believe it. And then half an hour later, one of the kids knocks it over and the whole kitchen's covered in creamer. Has that happened to you before? And you're sitting there going, well, shit. I trust it on the big macro level and I trust it on the little micro level, right? Okay. I'm going to do one or two more individuals, and then I'm going to do a card for the collective. We're at 3:08 p.m. as it were right now, so I want to make sure that I give myself enough time to prep class too. Yeah, or turn off the lights, or put the butter away, or right, whatever it is. In the universe, I'm sure they just sit there going, "You're welcome." Okay, well, we're on a roll. Danya LeCount. It's a sexy name. Says, may I please have my first reading today, darling? Yes, you may. Danya. It's a beautiful name. I really, really like it. It kind of rolls off the tongue. Danya, Danya, Danya. This is a good one. This is pretty much me 24 hours a day. And usually I'm like, so what the hell is this about? No, you don't understand. My life is supposed to be fun. I don't know what the rest of you kids are here trying to do. Looks like a fun little person, doesn't it? Juggling. It says, for you, Danya, be easy about all of this. The guides are like, she's not. Are you not easy? Are you not easy? Life is supposed to be fun, you know? It is Abraham's powerful desire that you return to your state of self-appreciation. We want you to feel love for your life, for the people of your world, and most of all for yourself. There is great love here for you. Be easy about all of this. We who make it all so complicated, right? You do need to ease up a little bit. You've gotten better, they're saying, but you have some work to do still. Reminds me of what I was saying earlier. Remember when I was telling you sometimes I question myself because I try to stay really optimistic, and I don't like to think that I'm bypassing or not looking at things in an intense, serious way. One of the things I've learned, though, especially in the last couple of years, and I have to say, I don't know if it's shown up in my teaching or not in a way that you guys can recognize, but it has shown up for me in the way I think about my teaching. I'm not here to teach everybody about everything. I teach a pretty diverse curriculum, and I pull in stuff from all over different traditions, and my life's been very diverse too. But I'm not here to be your teacher of everything. That's why we have different teachers in life. So I've really become quite at peace with the fact that, like, there are certain things that you won't learn in my classes, and I don't think they're meant to be in my classes. I think you're probably supposed to go get those things in a different class, right? And I feel like this is wisdom for you too. You know what I mean? Like, learning to discern and understand, and not take it all so seriously, and not put so much pressure on yourself. It feels, particularly when it comes to you, that you are hard on yourself, or you put a lot of pressure on yourself, and it isn't fun. But you're a fun person, they're saying. It's just like, and look, I completely get this is not a fun time. I mean, when people tell me they're having a rip-roaring good time right now, I'm still enjoying my life, but I would not call this like the best time I've ever had. Okay? I'm definitely making the best of it, and I'm trying to still enjoy it because this is still life. So what can you do to enjoy this a little bit more? To bring a little more juice to your caboose. Right? Yeah. I love it. Jimmy's like, I'm a teacher myself of the universe and self. 3,000%. You know what I mean? Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Well, that's exactly right. I mean, that's what I try to remind people too, is at best I'm the channel. I'm a hollow bone, right? On a good day. Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. Let's see. I'm trying to look for someone who has had a reading before, because I've done so many new ones today, and I feel like I'm a little out of balance. Although Rihanna, am I pronouncing it correctly? Rihanna, right? She said, I would love my first reading. It's also my first soul shift, and it won't be my last. My birthday was the 23rd, so she just had her birthday. Happy birthday to you. You just had your birthday. And the question is, regarding my relationship, is it all worth it? So let me go here, and then I'm going to do a card for the collective. And next time, I promise I will get to more of you who are not first-timers, because I did quite a few first-timers. But I really try to let my intuition drive the bus. So, thank you for your patience, too. Really appreciate it. All right, Rihanna. Is it all worth it? It's an interesting answer to your question. My greatest gift to give is my happiness. It's so funny. Dave always says he's happy when I'm happy, and it doesn't mean that his happiness isn't important, but he finds it easier to be happy when I'm happy, because it's magnetic, you know. I find it happier to be happier when he's happy, or easier to be happy when he's happier too. The greatest gift that you could ever give is your own happiness. When you are in a state of joy or appreciation, you are connected to the stream of source energy that is truly who you are, and anything or anyone that you're holding as your object of attention benefits from your attention. You know what the guides are saying for you, Rihanna? You ready for the simplest answer? It is worth it if you're happy. And if you aren't, it isn't. Are you happy? It's a profound question. Are you happy? What would happiness look like for you? Can you draw a picture of it? You wrote a poem about it? Can you describe it? It is if you're happy. It isn't if you're not. Isn't that kind of the truest thing ever? So a card for the collective, for everyone who's in Soul Shift now, everyone who will be here later. A card to guide our work in this final week of January 2021. For Soul Shift, Soul Shift, Soul Shift. My emotional set points can be changed. This is beautiful wisdom. I have to say, I love the little people in her cards. Like, I feel like I could actually draw that. And they're cute. They all look a little confused, though. But that's okay. I mean, half the time I'm confused. My mantra is, I just work here. I don't have all the answers. I just work here. Your set points are achieved by attention to a subject. We want you to understand the extreme value in deliberately achieving your own set points, because once you expect something, it will come. The details of it may play out differently, but the vibrational essence will always be a match. I think that's been the theme of the day. You need to be intentional about where you pay attention, because you are making a payment with your attention. Please be mindful of where you're paying it, and recognize that anything you give attention to comes to you whether you want it or not. I think that's the best wisdom to close our readings for January with, don't you? Let's go into February more mindful about our set points and more deliberate about setting our own with intention. Aho. I want to thank my spirit guides for helping me to be a good channel today. And I want to thank your spirit guides for letting me come closer and give you some wisdom through my voice, but from their spirit. This was the Ask and It Is Given deck by Esther Hicks. Isn't it pretty? Focus on being happy. More of it will come. I'll see you guys right at 4 p.m. That's about 40 minutes for now for session 4 of January. See you then. It was great today. Thank you.